Knowledge of good and evil. Bloody beard's going mad. What is knowledge of good and evil then? Is it mankind's knowledge of good and evil, which is always swayed by whichever way the winds blow? In other words, whatever society decides, or religious or political leaders, that's good, that's evil. Taste change, fashion changes, tolerance. Everything that mankind does is actually nothing more than a vanity. It's just a vanity. It's meaningless. So what is knowledge of good and evil? Right, this is what you need to know, but you need to experience this internally. It's no good having simple knowledge if you haven't realized it internally. That's where everything happens. It all happens in here. Nothing ever happens out there. So everything you experience becomes an internal experience. And it's about energy. Now, if you raise that energy, Kundalini, prana, chi, electromagnetism, call it whatever you want, just another label. Words are a vanity. But if you raise that energy up into your Garden of Eden, your temple of light, your Jerusalem, then you will be good. If you do not, you are evil. That's it. That's the benchmark. That's why cleaning the house and meditation is of paramount importance, because you can have all the esoteric knowledge you want, all the wisdom, but if you haven't enabled it inside you, it's a vanity. The Apostle Paul, somewhere in the scriptures, says that they all think with one mind. In other words, there's no enmity between the male and the female and female aspects of your psychology. The male being the ego intellect and the female being your subconscious. They think with one mind. There's no more enmity between the male and the female. They've overcome that because they've raised the energy. And the Apostle Paul was saying they are backbiters, they're murderers, robbers, thieves, liars. Because everybody is. You've all killed your sacred secretion. That makes you a murderer. You've all lied. You've all backchatted, backbit, gossiped. You've all done it. Okay? But when you raise that energy, it transcends all that. That's what Paul's saying. Look, there are far too many people now virtue signalling. My brother was talking to a woman the other day. I just want to be kind. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just a vanity. I just want to be an arsehole. It's just another vanity. It's all a vanity. It's a mental thing. You see? When you raise that energy, then you have knowledge of good and evil. What will you do then? Then you choose. Good, in other words, higher consciousness, keeping the energy up there, or evil. Choose. Knowledge of good and evil. Let us go down there and confuse them, lest they eat from the tree of knowledge. Let us go down there and confuse them. For they have knowledge of good and evil, and they will be like us as gods. And they will eat from the tree of life. Where it says in the Bible, in the Old Testament, I will grant you long life. He's not talking about your years. Like some people die young. He's not talking about that. He's talking about long life consciousness. It's not bound by the three-dimensional reality, the fourth dimension being time. It's not trapped by the body. It transcends that. It's free. It's the truth that makes you free. So that's the knowledge of good and evil. Now you can follow religious edicts or liberal thinking or conservative thinking. That's all a vanity. I've been working on this house this week. Very wealthy man. Monetary wealth. And he's got seats that people will never sit in. Carpets that people never walk on. And books in bookshelves that people will never read. It's all a show. It's a show house. It's look at me. Look how successful I am. That's not wealth. That's not wealth. That's just vanity on display. All these fine things. Curtains that cost more than 6 months' wages for one window. Vanity. But you might argue, yeah, but he's got the money to buy it. That's fine. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying it's a vanity. He's not rich. Consciousness is what makes you rich. Being able to see and hear, to understand and respond. That's what makes you rich, not money. That's the knowledge of good and evil. And until you've had that inner experience of raising that energy, you have no knowledge of good and evil. You're only listening to me. Unearned wisdom is a dangerous thing. It always makes me think twice about making these videos. Because don't even talk about these things until you have had the experience. I mean the real experience. Don't let your mind fool you. Don't think for 1 minute that your mind is your friend. That voice in your head. Chew the cud on that.